Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Janine and this here is Leana. Apparently she's going to join us for part of the practice today, so we'll see how that goes. But thank you for joining us here today. Today's practice is a simple and nourishing slow flow that's going to focus a little bit more into the neck and the shoulders. So if you're feeling at all tense in those areas, then this should help to bring you a little more ease and comfort. So before we get into that, I just wanted to share with you a passage or a poem or a part of a lecture that Alan Watts has said. So I was reintroduced to it earlier in the week and it landed with me in a place that felt resonant. So I thought that I would share, because oftentimes I find that we can kind of get caught up in our head thinking that maybe we're not enough, or maybe we need some higher purpose or a reason to belong. So I thought that this was a nice reminder to just kind of bring yourself back home to yourself when you're maybe going through those thoughts of uncertainty or doubt. So I'll just go ahead and read it. So Alan Watts says, "We live in a world where almost everyone quite sincerely believes that something is wrong with them. That we ought to be more like this or less like that. So we go chasing for some future version of ourselves just around the bend where we finally get it all right. But what if I suggested that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you? That your very being, your breath, this strange and sacred I am, is already perfect. And not perfect in a moral sense, not tidy, polished, or well-behaved, but perfect in the way a flame dances, or the way a tree bends in the wind, or a way a galaxy spins. You see, you're not something apart from nature, observing from a distance. You are nature. Just as much as the stars, the ocean, and the clouds, the patterns of your thoughts, laughter, and sorrows. They are every bit as natural as the ripples of water or the sound of thunder. And you don't need to do a thing to earn your place here. Because the truth is, you are all already extraordinary. You're an extraordinary phenomenon of the universe. And you're just like that. And that is enough." So I thought those words were really beautiful. And just a good reminder again that we are not separate from nature. That we belong here just as much as the trees, the wind, the grass, the dogs. They all do. So maybe when we feel like we need some other higher purpose of understanding why or how we belong, maybe just simply being alive is enough. So as we flow today, maybe allow for those words to just sink in and to wash over you. And if there's any kind of uncertainty going on, then that can bring you back. Right? All right, so let's begin today's practice. We're going to start in a cross-legged seat, if that's where you're already at, like I am here in Sukhasana, or however else feels more comfortable to you today. Maybe that's sitting up on your knees, or however is sustainable for you. And let's just go ahead and sit back onto the sit bones, and so that we can grow our spine a little bit taller. And if it feels good to you, maybe you'd like to close down your eyes, or just create a heaviness, a softness there behind your eyelids, just so that you can tune in, tap in, turn inwards as we begin to check in with ourselves, to check in with our breath and where we're at today. So just a few conscious, slow, mindful breaths to begin today's practice. Maybe your hands find your lap or your knees or a dog in front of you. And just beginning to observe the breath without any need to change it, shift it. Anapanasati, this is observation of breath. And I know as soon as we maybe want to begin to observe our breath, inevitably we change it slightly. But can we just observe without shifting it, without manipulating it? So where is it at? Is it shallow? Is it full? Is it coming from deep in the belly? Can you feel it moving up your diaphragm or into your chest? So just sitting here for a few moments to observe. Maybe leaning back a little bit more, like you're leaning up against an invisible wall so you can grow that spine nice and tall. Let your head shine up towards the heavens, to the sky. As you notice your breath, maybe beginning to just notice your surroundings, what you hear, near or far, what you feel on your skin, maybe the wind, the air around you, what you smell, what you taste. And even with your eyes closed down, if they are, what you see behind your eyelids, any dancing colors, darkness. And just breathing in slightly bigger, beginning to really fill yourself up. And let it go out the mouth. Let's do that a couple more times, following your breath. Maybe a sigh. Let's bring our hands to heart center now in Anjali Mudra. Feeling both hands pushing into one another. Maybe creating a little bit of tension here. Feeling your shoulder blades back behind you when you do this. Your elbows pushing outwards. And as you inhale, we're going to circle our arms up towards the sky, letting them float up to the sky, palms touch. And on your exhale, fully and slowly bring it down to your heart center. So doing that a couple times on your own, letting each movement fill up your entire breath. Again, observing your breath as you move, letting your breath ignite your movement. One more. And this time as you breathe out, bringing your hands to heart center, let's go ahead and place our right hand beside us on the mat, reaching your left up and overhead. Maybe your eyes blink open here or not. Just getting into a little side body stretch. So letting your left sit bone plug into the earth, open up the chest here, reach away with your left fingertips. Maybe bending into your left elbow here, opening up the chest. And as if somebody is pulling on your left hand so much, begin to turn your chest downwards towards the earth to your right hand side, tucking your chin to your chest until your left hand finds the earth. Let your head, your neck be heavy here. Maybe sway it side to side, a little rock. And on your inhale, we're going to open back up with that left hand, this time coming into a bit of a cactus shape, so squeezing your shoulders back behind you. One more big breath in. And out. As you inhale, we'll come back to center, floating your hands up to the sky and placing your left to the side, reaching your right up and overhead, coming into your second side here, plugging that right sit bone into the earth, reaching as far away from you as you can with your right fingertips. Let your head be heavy here. Try not to hold your head up with your neck. Maybe let it dangle down. Open up the chest. Breathing deeply. And as if someone's pulling on this hand now, let it pull you so far over to the left-hand side. You begin to turn your chest down towards the earth all the way until your right hand finds the mat, finds the earth to your left side. Let your head again drop down and be heavy. Couple swings side to side here with the neck. Taking a full round of breath. On your exhale, let yourself melt deeper into the shape. And as you inhale, we're going to open back up, peeling your chest towards the sky, hugging your shoulder blades together as we come into that cactus shape. Taking a full round of breath here. And as you inhale, we're going to bring it back up to center. All right, let's roll onto our hands and knees, setting ourselves up in the tabletop. And we're just going to get into a few cat and cows. So really articulate in the spine here, starting from the tailbone. See if you can ignite your movement from there. So as you inhale, begin to scoop your tailbone up towards the sky. And as you do, your spine begins to curve, your belly begins to drop, and your gaze looks up towards the sky. And as you exhale, can you reverse that motion ever so slowly, beginning to scoop at the tailbone, tucking your pelvis. Your spine begins to curve into a nice big round C shape, and then your chin begins to tuck down towards your chest. So really mindfully and slowly move between your cat and your cow here, but follow your breath. So plant firmly into your hands, feel that articulation into all your fingertips, push into the tops of the feet as well. So there's lots of points of contact here, lots of little articulation and little movements happening. But we just want to feel almost as if you can feel every vertebrae move ever so slowly. So just warming up the spinal column here. Really being slow and mindful with these movements. So a few rounds, we'll do about 3 or 4, following your breath. Maybe with each round you start to speed up ever so slowly. Maybe a little buoyancy, micro bend in the elbows here. One more wherever you are. And come back to a neutral spine. From here, we're going to walk our hands to the top of the mat ever so slowly. And we're going to sink our chest down towards the earth. We're coming into Anahatana. So this is puppy pose. So bring your elbows down onto the mat. Maybe your forehead finds the earth. Your hips are about in line with your knees. We're getting a nice big shoulder opener, chest opener here. So relax your head onto the earth. Let it be heavy. Push into both of your hands, the tops of your feet again. And just allow yourself to melt here. Taking about 3 full rounds of breath. So remembering again that you are enough. Wherever you're at today, however you're feeling and showing up, that is enough. One more round of breath. And we're just going to roll ourselves forward onto the belly. So you're right into your Sphinx pose. So lifting up the chest here. Again, pushing into the tops of the feet, pushing into the thighs, pushing into the pelvis here, and opening up the chest. So nice mini back bend. Just taking a full round of breath here. And go ahead and release, bringing your forehead down to the mat, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders so that you can push yourself back up into your tabletop. From here, we're going to step our right foot forward in between our hands, setting ourselves up for our Anjaneyasana, our low lunge. So maybe your fingertips are just tenting the earth here. Maybe you'd like to untuck your toes. So think about scissoring in the hips. So your left hip is coming forward, your right is going back. Open up the chest here. Make sure your shoulders aren't creeping up towards your ears. So allow your torso, your upper body to relax. So just taking a round of breath here to feel into the hips. And when you're ready, we're going to place our left hand onto the mat. Maybe you just want to scoot your right foot a little bit closer to the edge of the mat, almost like you're in a lizard pose. We're going to circle our right arm up and overhead, reaching it back behind us so that you're hooking your right hand about to the outside of your left hip. So you can really open up the chest here. So again, think about squeezing your shoulders together. Let your shoulders drop away from the ears. Let your hips be heavy, maybe even dropping down into the hip. If you even want to roll onto the knife edge, the right edge of your right foot, you can do that too. So from here, we're just going to drop our head over towards our left shoulder. So your left ear is coming towards your left shoulder. So we're getting a nice big neck stretch here. So really let your head be heavy. Let your hips be heavy, pushing into the floor with your left hand so you have stability here. You're really opening up the chest, opening up your heart space towards the sky, and just feeling into the right side of the neck here. Taking a few rounds of breath just to open up the neck. On your next inhale, lifting your head back up, unhooking your right so that you're bringing your right hand back to frame your right foot. So maybe walk your right foot back to the center of the mat. And let's just drop our hips back so we're lengthening that front leg, coming into a little bit of a half split, so Ardha Hanumanasana. So just getting into the hamstring here as well. Couple rounds of breath here. Waking up the back line. How's the hamstring feel? This is one of my favorite stretches because I always somehow am surprised how tight I am. And go ahead and roll back forward. So planting your hands, we're just going to step that right knee to meet our left. And then walking yourself up so that you're standing on your knees. From here, go ahead and bring your hands back behind you so your fingertips are facing down, just on top of the hips here, right over the glutes. Hug your shoulders together, hug your elbows together, push your pelvis forward, and just squeeze your shoulders, squeeze your elbows, gaze looks up. So we're not quite getting into a camel here, but we're just getting a tiny little bit of a back bend and opening up the chest, squeezing the elbows. So take a big breath in and out. And coming back up. From here, we're going to clasp our hands now behind us. And again, pull your knuckles down as you open up the chest. Big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to bring our forehead towards the mat, bringing our knuckles up towards the sky, coming into rabbit pose. You're in the way, Leana. Watch out. If you have a dog in your way, then just slowly move them. So your forehead is coming down onto the earth. Hands back behind you and just rolling so you're coming a little bit more onto the top of the head. So try not to dump too much weight here either. So getting a nice big shoulder stretch here. Maybe pull those clasped hands back behind you slightly more if that feels okay and accessible for your shoulders today. Big breath in. And go ahead and release. We're just going to come into a child's pose. So let your hands fall beside you. Let your forehead be heavy on the earth here. And just take a couple rounds of breath to let yourself melt into the earth. On your next inhale, we're going to slowly roll ourselves back up so that you're seated onto your heels, and then rolling forward onto your hands and knees back into your tabletop. From here, go ahead and step your right foot forward. Your left foot forward, or whatever side you did before. So for me, your left foot forward in between your hands, so you're setting yourself up for that low lunge on the second side. So just take a couple breaths here to set yourself up, finding your foundation, maybe again scissoring into the hips if that was a good cue to bring your right hip forward, your left hip back. Maybe your hands are just tented onto the earth here. And just breathing, feeling into your hips. When you're ready, go ahead and place your right hand towards the earth. Maybe just heel toe your foot so you're bringing your left foot to the outer edge of your mat if that feels better, into a lizard shape. Reaching your left hand into a circle, up and overhead, bringing it back behind you so that you're hooking your your left hand this time onto the outer edge of your right hip, or just back behind you here so you can really open up the chest. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, getting a nice big stretch onto the left side of the neck this time. Let your hips be heavy. Open up the chest. Feeling the connection of the earth underneath you. Pushing firmly into your right hand here, into your knuckles. Trying not to dump too much of your weight into your wrist. Try to let go of the head so you're not holding your head up here. Let your shoulder come away from the ear. Two more rounds of breath. And you can go ahead and release, so bring your head back up to neutral. Unthread your left hand, so circle it back up to the sky, framing your left foot, heel toe your foot back to the center of the mat, and just lengthen your legs. So you're coming into that half splits for just a couple rounds of breath here. Open up the chest, maybe grow your spine long, and then begin to fold. It's okay if you would rather round your spine here and let your head again be heavy towards your knee, or if you'd like to keep more active with a straight spine. Either is fine. Breathing in. And go ahead and roll yourself back. So we're going to kick our left foot to meet the right. So we're coming onto our knees here. So standing up onto your knees. Bringing your hands back behind you. Again, fingertips facing down on the top of the hips. Tucking your toes this time, and we are going to come into a camel variation. So go ahead and hug your shoulder blades in, open up the chest, begin to drop into your back bend at whatever level feels good for you here. If you would like to go ahead and release your hands onto your heels to come a little bit deeper, go ahead and do that. Push your pelvis forward, open up the chest, and breathe, remembering your breath here. Things become too shallow, you can't breathe, just come out of it. You've gone a little bit too far. Taking 2 full rounds of breath. Again, let your head maybe be heavy here, so you're not holding up your head with your neck. And on your next inhale, slowly begin to come out of it. So walk your hands back up towards your glutes, onto your hips, and lengthen your spine, untuck your toes, sit yourself back onto your heels, and we'll just lower a head down onto the earth. So coming back into your child's pose. Maybe your hands grab onto your heels this time. Let your shoulder blades round in. Let your head be heavy onto the earth here. Couple rounds of breath. On your next inhale, we'll slowly begin to roll ourselves up, seated onto our heels, and just go ahead and roll onto one side. So you can bring your feet out in front of us. We'll just set ourselves back up into our Sukhasana, or your easy seat or cross-legged pose. Or if it feels better for you to stay on your knees, then please feel free. So we'll just close our practice with one more neck release here. So go ahead and bring your right fingertips out towards your side, dropping your left ear towards your left shoulder. So maybe you'd like to tick-tock your chin here. Just kind of play around with where you feel most sensation, or enough sensation, that is. Definitely don't need to feel the most sensation, but when you feel it, and you'll know. And once you get there, just breathe deeply into the tension, into the sensation. Maybe let your fingertips hover just a couple inches off of the earth. And inhale as you come back to center. We'll switch sides, bringing your right hand back onto your knee, reaching your left fingertips out towards your left side, and dropping your right shoulder or your right ear towards your right shoulder. Again, letting those fingertips hover over the earth just slightly. Just moving into your chin, your neck here, finding that place that feels good. Breathing into tension, breathing into sensation, sending your breath there. One more breath. And bring it back to center. If you don't have your eyes closed, maybe I'll encourage you here to close them for just a moment as we close down our practice in a seated meditation, to just come back into the breath. So following your inhales and following your exhales, bringing yourself into this moment, committing yourself to your practice for these final moments, to be present. Maybe noticing if anything shifted, how you're feeling. And remembering again that you belong here just as much as every other thing that inhabits this earth, every other being, every other entity, every other thing that this earth, Mother Earth, has provided and brought for us. You belong. If it feels resonant to you, to bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra, you can join me there. Maybe dipping your chin towards your chest in reverence, in love, in gratitude, in acceptance, all towards yourself for taking this time for you and showing up. And I thank you for joining me here today. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope that this practice felt good to you and you're feeling a little more spacious or open in the shoulders or the rest of your body. If you haven't yet subscribed, then please do. I would love to hear from you, so drop me a comment, let me know how this went for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.